AI agents are about to become cheaper than junior employees, and that changes everything about work, wages, and who gets power inside a company. The shocking part is that this does not begin with a dramatic collapse. It begins with one manager asking a simple question: why pay a person for work an AI can already do faster, cheaper, and around the clock? Imagine a company where the most expensive person in the room is no longer the manager or the engineer, but the human junior who still needs training, supervision, and a salary. Now imagine the moment AI gets so capable and so inexpensive that hiring that junior employee starts to feel irrational. That is not a fantasy of the far future. It is a practical business decision that some companies will make sooner than most people expect. If you want the full chain reaction, stay with this one all the way through, because the first change looks small and the last one rewrites the labor market. The first jobs to disappear are usually not the dramatic ones. They are the repetitive office tasks that look harmless from the outside. Scheduling, inbox triage, summarizing documents, basic research, simple customer support, routine reporting, and spreadsheet cleanup. These tasks are perfect targets because they are easy to standardize and expensive relative to the value they create. A junior employee often spends hours doing work that does not require deep judgment. And this is where the real problem begins, because junior roles are not just cheap labor. They are the training ground where people learn how companies actually work. A junior employee starts by doing small tasks, but over time they absorb context. They learn how decisions are made, which problems matter, where the bottlenecks are, and how teams really communicate when nobody is watching. If companies stop hiring that layer, they do not just save money. And if you are already seeing this pattern in your own industry, you are not imagining it. The companies watching this carefully are not asking whether AI changes work. They are asking how fast they can reorganize before everyone else does. Of course, companies will tell themselves this is pure efficiency, and on paper it often looks that way. But in reality, the winners may end up paying twice. AI agents can be fast, but they are not magically trustworthy. They can produce confident errors, miss context, violate compliance rules, or create brand damage in ways that are expensive to clean up. So the company that replaces 10 juniors with 3 AI systems usually does not get to fire all the human oversight as well. That creates a new labor market with 3 very different layers. At the top are the people who define goals, allocate capital, and make the final decisions. They remain valuable because AI can assist them but not replace the responsibility they carry. In the middle are workers who can supervise AI, interpret output, handle exceptions, and connect the machine work to real business outcomes. These people gain leverage because they become the bridge between automation and execution. This is why the story is bigger than a job loss headline. It is a shift in who gets trained, who gets promoted, and who gets access to power in the first place. The strange part is that the companies moving first may gain a compounding advantage. Once labor costs fall, they can move faster, test more ideas, and operate with fewer bottlenecks. That means they can undercut slower rivals, expand into new markets, and reinvest savings into even better systems. The gap does not stay small for long. A firm with cheaper AI labor can become more aggressive in pricing, more efficient in support, and more relentless in execution. And once that logic spreads, it stops being only a company problem and becomes a country problem. Nations with cheap compute, strong AI infrastructure, reliable electricity, and flexible regulation will be able to scale faster than countries that move slowly or overprotect outdated systems. In the same way that industrial power once depended on factories and shipping, the next version of advantage may depend on access to models, data, chips, and energy. Now zoom in on the human side, because this is where the scenario becomes personal very quickly. If the easiest work is automated first, then new workers do not get a gentle transition. They get a bottleneck, fewer internships, fewer junior analyst roles, fewer support jobs that once served as the gateway into finance, marketing, operations, and administration. That means the path into stable white-collar work becomes narrower and more competitive. If this video is making you rethink what a junior role even means, that is the point. The biggest shifts usually arrive quietly, through decisions that look efficient long before they look historic. So the most realistic future is not a world where humans disappear from work. It is a world where the cheapest human layer becomes optional, and the companies that adapt fastest reshape the entire market around that fact. Junior employees do not vanish because they are useless. They vanish because AI becomes good enough to do enough of the work that businesses used to assign to them. If you want more scenarios like this, subscribe to the channel, follow along, like the video, and leave a comment telling me which job you think AI targets next. Your answer says a lot about where you think the economy is already headed. Because once a company discovers that an AI agent is cheaper than a junior employee, the real question is no longer whether the change is possible. The real question is how long the rest of the economy can afford to pretend it is not happening.